Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Rich Gibbens Podcast right here. I'm with one of my dear friends and lover of Christ, Brian Jang, brother. Great to have you on today.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I like to do is, introduce you, and then you tell the world what you're about.
Okay. Yeah. So my name is Brian. Here in Sacramento,
Is
California.
that with an I or a Y?
With an I,
Brian
the right way to correct that, the right way to spell it. I'm a father of 4. Been married for 11 years to my beautiful wife, Kelsey. Have 3 sons, 1 daughter. Our youngest is 3. Our oldest are 6, and I have a 5-year-old. I love the Lord. Love real estate, and I love people.
Yeah, I love that, man. And I totally know you love people and love the Lord. And for me, you were actually one of the pivotal moments in my life was our conversation, you inviting me to church. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. I know I go to a different church now, but that helped pave the way for my baptism last year and for everything that the Lord has coming for me. I couldn't appreciate you enough.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Same here, dog. And one of the moments I was like, man, I felt like was a moment where our friendship really grew was last year in family reunion.
Yeah.
When we took that like 1.5 mile walk from
it was like an hour
back to our hotel. Exactly. It felt like a long walk, but just getting deep and getting to know you more in these past couple years and doing script practice with you, and it's been amazing. So
dude, that walk, right? And I talk about sitting at the right table with people and connecting with the right people. And I was asking questions, but I was giving you praise, a lot of praise. And what I saw you do immediately and multiple times was, "Hey, thank you for that, Rich, but it's just God." It's just God. And so in my life over the last year, especially that last February when we talked was, okay, what am I taking in? What am I saying is me that isn't? Right? And what our ego is edging God out. And so what I learned there, aside from everything that we were able to grow close upon, was giving glory to God.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really incredible.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So where does your faith come from?
Yeah, like what do you mean by that?
Where did you start with Christ?
Yeah.
And how has he affected your journey as a husband, a father, and in business?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so my discipleship to Jesus came when I was actually in junior high. I came from a family of divorced parents. My dad moved us up actually here to Sacramento back in 2005. I got into skateboarding, and along with that crowd, I had a lot of friends that surrounded me that smoked a lot of weed, did drugs, and I found myself in a place where I was broken, right? I didn't have hope. I was angry. I was upset. I was getting into fights constantly, doing drugs, and I found myself in a place where I just didn't want to live this type of life anymore. And that's actually at that point, the Lord was so good and so faithful. And he, oh my gosh, he brought this youth group to the skate park that I skated at.
Yeah.
And in that skate park, I didn't want anything to do with those guys, yet they had food. So I showed up because they're giving away pizza and soda. And as a 13, 14-year-old skater who was always hungry, that was a
well, you were smoking a bit, right? So you had the munchies.
Yeah. So and this youth group came, and this is the goodness and faithfulness of God, of him reaching out and calling me out from darkness. And from there, all my friends started going. So I'm like, okay, I should go check it out. So I started going to youth group and just met these amazing men. I didn't know this at the time, but my future father-in-law, who's my father-in-law now, Curtis Chapman, and my business partner now, but my mentor back then, Tomas Garcia, they really poured into my life. So, and then the Lord rescued me in a time, we went to a conference in San Francisco. And in the time of worship, that's where the Lord rescued me, where he showed me my brokenness. and my need for Christ. And even though I was broken and I've sinned against a very holy, holy God, he still revealed his love for me. And I think at that point, I always felt that I didn't belong, but it was in Christ that I found where I belong. I found my identity in who I am because of him. So yeah, all glory to Christ. And, obviously every decision that we make, every thing that we pursue, we do it for the glory of God. So whether it's selling real estate or flipping houses or buying real estate for investment, for rental, whatever it is, we want to leverage our lives for the kingdom of God. Wow. And I'm growing in it, I will say. And I'm learning, and the Lord is stretching me, and he's showing me new things and new areas that I need to grow in, new things I have to say no to so that I can say yes to the things that he wants me to say yes to. So, but it's been, it affects, every aspect of my life.
It's incredible, man, and I appreciate you sharing on that.
Yeah. Man, the allergies are really bad.
Yeah, the allergies, 100%. That's sweet, man.
Yeah.
And I have a very loving relationship with Kelsey, and her and Allie get along great, and we love your kids and everything. How does that work for you and your business, right? I've known over the last several years, you structured your calendar to fit your needs and your desires, being a business owner instead of just operating.
Yeah.
Walk us through what that process was for you, because you've been in the industry going on
12 years.
12 years.
Yeah.
And how are you feeling now in your business compared to where you were the last 5 years?
Yeah. So I would say most of my real estate career, I had a lack of focus. Like, I didn't know what to focus on. So it was just doing the next thing that was available, or doing the next thing that I thought was right. And it just kind of led to mediocre results. I would say in the last 2 to 3 years is where I've started getting a little bit more clarity. Mm-hmm. It's been about a little over a year now since I've hired my coach, my business coach, who's really helped me find, I just had a meeting with him this morning, and we're talking about the times that we need to structure for our lead gen. And if I sign 10 listings that day, yet if I didn't do my lead gen time, then that day, 1 out of 10 is a 0 because I didn't do what I was supposed to do.
Man, right there. So I just had, I have 2 coaches, right, as you know, and one is through Keller Williams and the other is through Tom Ferry.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I'm growing into a business owner, right? As I was running John's team the last 3.5 years, and last year separated and doing my own thing. I'm like, okay, well, what's working? What isn't? What does it look like? So last week I have both coaching calls on Wednesdays, and I have Kelly Wiley first, and then Jason DeLotte second. So MAPS coaching, then Tom Ferry coaching, right back to back. And I was telling her all the good things I did. Like, I sent out new mailers. I have a new lead gen model for canceled and expireds, and sending mailers out along with the calls. As well as some other stuff I'm doing with that. And she was like, okay, great job. Like, what's next? What can we work on? The next call with Jason was, okay, cool. What else did you do beside the mailers? Did you call them? And I got grilled for a half hour on just that. And what did it do? It put into perspective for me. If I'm not prospecting, then my day's a 0. It doesn't matter if you sign 10 listings or you have 10 buyers going into contract. Who's next that you can serve? And that's where we're going back to the God aspect of this and our faith in God and Jesus. If we're called to serve, right, and we are not serving by finding new people we can help at the highest possible level in real estate, then we're saying no to God. And that's kind of what I put into perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's about focusing in on what that 20% is, because 20% is going to yield 80% of your results. And so often we try to fill in our days with the lead gen, yet we think these other activities are more important. So again, in the last couple years, where I've been able to find more focus and honestly more freedom because of it, is really dialing in on what that lead gen activity looks like and having some good clarity there, and making sure that I have my goals for the contacts that I want to hit, whichever way, whether it's phone call, text message, social media, face to face, whatever it is. Dialing that in really helped me find focus and push the business forward. Yeah. Consistently push the business forward. So there hasn't been a month in the last, there hasn't been these ups and downs in my business. It's always been consistent because I'm always lead generating for the next 3, 6, 9 months. Because the reality is, like, what we're cashing in now was because of the work that we did 3 months ago.
100%. Right?
And if we're not doing the work now, then 3 months from now, we're going to see the gap of the work that we haven't done, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that makes sense. But
no, totally. Yeah. And just to give confidence in what you just said there, I took time off in November.
Okay.
Right? Closed my last couple deals. 3 in December or whatever. The last 2 closed on December 18th. Mm-hmm. And I took those 2 weeks off and the week off starting in January, right? And January has been obviously my slowest month in a long time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I see the pipeline building up and all that stuff, but it didn't hit.
Yeah.
Right? It's not in contract or whatever. I do have one going into contract today.
Yeah.
But 90 days ago, I was taking time.
Absolutely.
And relaxing and taking my foot off the gas. And like you just said, when you're steady as she goes, right? That means you're prospecting. Whether your prospecting is 3 days a week for 3 hours or whatever that looks like, right? Or maybe it's 2 hours for 5 days, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whatever that you're staying in action.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the thing too is I do want to, this is an area that I'm growing in, which is having identified time off, right? Mm-hmm. So that you're not like, I think what happens is that we just go, and then we hit a burnout.
Yeah.
Because we're going but if we have times that we're putting in our calendars a year advance saying, hey, this is the time that I'm going to take a weekend off, or this is a time where I'm going to go travel, or this is a time that and you're putting those times in, you're not going to hit these highs and lows, right?
Right.
So I would say time off is just as important. It's just making sure you're, what is it? Gary always says this, either you're going to take a break or you're going to go for a breakdown or something like that, right?
Right.
So you're going to take a break.
You're going to take a break or you're going to break down.
Yeah, you're going to take a break either way. It's just
maintenance
you don't want
on a car, right? Yep. Maintenance on a car.
Yep.
You go, 3,000 to 6,000 miles, right, on your car. You need an oil change. If you don't do that, and you continue to push through, your motor's going to blow.
Yeah.
Right. And we are human. We are a machine as well. It's the same thing. It's the same concept.
Yep.
And back to your 80-20 principle, the Pareto principle for those people that don't know.
Yep.
Right. That's 20% of what you do exercises the 80% of the results you deserve.
Yep.
Right. And so when we're focused on putting out fires per se, right, we got to do an Avid, we got to get inspection scheduled, we got to do this. Where does that fall into earning money?
Exactly.
It doesn't.
Yep.
It doesn't. You're doing the process of the escrow that is necessary. But who's next? Who can you serve next?
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'll say this publicly here, is when David asked me when we went to Bold, he's like, who do you know that could use a great coach? I wanted to jump on so bad. Yeah. So bad. And I believe God worked in favor of what it was supposed to be for you.
Yeah.
And, David is a model human being.
Yeah.
And he grew his business and sold it. And now he's rocking and rolling. He takes 12 weeks off. Or like 2 months off.
I don't know exactly his vacation.
He takes summer off.
Yeah.
Right? And spends times with his kids.
He's a killer. Yeah. So David, for those of you guys who don't know, is actually my MAPS coach, my business coach. And Rich and I took Bold together 2023, right? Yeah. The fall of 2023.
Yeah.
And David Bernal was our MAPS coach, or our Bold coach. And then Rich, at the time that I was getting ready, I was just looking for direction. I wanted to grow. Rich is like, hey, I just got a phone call from David, and he has a slot that's open, and I told him that you would be perfect for it. And I think that has been one of the like best decisions that I've made is in my business life to hire on David, because I was able to find clarity. So right now our team consists of 5 agents. We just hired on 2 new agents.
Oh, really?
Full-time admin, and we have a TC. We're outsourcing TC work, but just in this past 12 months, our team has already grown.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And the fact that you were open to that. And that's what we're talking about. Like when I repeatedly say sit at the right table is who's going to lift you up, right?
Yep.
I saw an opportunity as somebody I love in you, right? A great opportunity to have an amazing coach, right? I wouldn't just say that.
Yeah.
He asked me for one, like, hey, who do you know? And you were the only person I could think of that was seeking the guidance and the clarity.
Yeah.
So let's talk about coaching here, right? So you pay $1,000 a month.
Yep.
What is the ROI? What has been the ROI on David coaching you?
Like, I don't know if I have a hard time like putting a number to it, right? But I would say this past year I've doubled my income, right?
So $12,000 a year, and you doubled your income?
Yeah, I doubled my income in the year of 2024. And I mean, obviously, all glory to God, right?
100%.
And it's who He is allowing me so that we could, again, continue to leverage our lives for the greater purpose of the kingdom of God. So, so I'm grateful for that.
Well, so in this growing your business and everything, you and Kelsey go down and do a mission once a year down in Mexico.
Yeah.
And what do you guys do there? And this is with Encounter, right?
This is with our church, Encounter Church. Yep. So the first time I actually went on this trip was when I was a sophomore in high school.
Okay. So
actually my father-in-law and my mother-in-law have been leading this trip since, mid 2000s. And the first year that I had an opportunity to go was my junior year of high school. My wife has gone to Mexico several times at this point as well. But we go down. We have a ministry that we have built a relationship with in the past, couple decades now. And it's called, the ministry down there is called La Roca with Pastor Carlos. And he's doing some amazing work, starting orphanages to a night. Every night they have a homeless shelter for men. They have a drug rehab center called the Ranch. So just amazing things that he's doing. So when we get down there, we get to partner with him in his ministry and be able to just help out wherever we can. We also partner with a ministry called Caravan Ministry, which is a mission mobilization ministry, but they also build homes. Right. So we go and we build a home, and then we head over to Carlos, and then we go over Thanksgiving week. Yeah, we throw a huge Thanksgiving party for about 200 to 300 people.
Wow, wow. That's incredible. Just doing the Lord's work, giving back. Giving back. And what are you guys doing other than building homes? How are you sharing the word?
Yeah. So we have opportunities throughout the week where we'll have a message that one of our, this past year I got an opportunity to speak at the youth group.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. So I got a chance to speak there. And then the men's, they have a men's gathering, or I should say a homeless shelter every night, and our guys get to go and deliver pizza and then share the love of Christ with them. But also just in tangible ways, there's a ministry down there called the House of Grace, which is all part of La Roca. And when we get down there, we bring gifts. We get to do a piñata for the kids. We bring pizza. Pizza is a favorite down there.
Pizza seems to be a common theme with you and God, bro.
Yeah.
And you can't go wrong with pizza.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And just hugging these kids. What was really special this past year was actually our opportunity to bring our own kids. So that was really awesome watching our kids kind of struggle through it because they're still really young. I got twins who are 6. and a 5-year-old and 3-year-old, and they don't fully understand of what's happening. But like there was a moment, we were there. We just got done visiting an orphanage. It was a long day for the kids, and they were there giving gifts to the orphan kids. And one of the kids at the orphanage, unfortunately, because he kind of got picked up a little bit later than what we were told, so we didn't actually have a gift for them. So my kids were heartbroken about it, and as they were like, okay, we're gonna go to Walmart the next day, we're gonna pick up some gifts for them, we're gonna bring it over. But there was a moment where, throughout this trip, I was like, man, was it a mistake bringing our kids just because they're so young? I feel like my focus is shifted just because I'm watching my kids. At the same time, I'm trying to do ministry. And the Lord just is so good again. And he made it so clear that he also is working in the lives of my kids. We're driving back from the orphanage back to the house where we stay, which is at Pastor Carlos's home. Mm-hmm. What was it, Ezra or Levi, the twins, were asking just these questions about the kids that were there. And then Levi, just brokenhearted, looks at Kelsey and I as we're driving and goes, Mom, Dad, I don't understand. And you could tell that his heart and his little heart was distressed. He said, I don't understand how they would leave such a beautiful kid, how their parents would be so mean and so rude to leave this kid behind. And it was that moment where I recognized, man, the Lord, first of all, is moving in the hearts of my kids. Whether I think he is or I don't think he is, or whether I feel it or don't feel it, that God is moving and that he is in pursuit of my children. Mm-hmm. So, my voice cracked.
Allergies, bro.
Yeah,
allergies.
Yeah. So it was powerful for me just watching my kids engage. And although it was difficult and there were some challenges that came with it, we're so grateful that the Lord allowed us to bring our kids, because they were exposed to how the Lord is moving, and their hearts just understood a little bit more, right? And their minds just comprehended a little bit more about something that's just outside of here. On top of that, they were building, they were doing hard work with us, and we're grateful for those kind of opportunities. So
100%.
Yeah.
So Levi is 6, right?
Levi and Ezra are 6. Yeah.
Yeah, and he felt their pain.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What an incredible story.
Yeah.
Right? And you're going to remember that as a father. And I'm sure Kelsey's going to remember.
The rest of
I can
life,
imagine Kelsey just breaking down.
Yeah. And what's so crazy is we went on some amazing trips last year. We went on this, for our anniversary, Kelsey and I, for our 10-year anniversary, we went to Hawaii. We did the catamaran. We did it all that trip. And it was amazing. By the time we got back, we're almost exhausted, right? What's different about this trip to Mexico, we're working and serving that entire time that we're there.
Yeah.
You actually should come with us next year, by the way.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. And we were just exhausted throughout the day, but we came back and we're more energized.
Yeah.
We have more clarity. And there's something to be said. Jesus says that it's better to give than to receive. Mm-hmm. And you test Jesus on his words, right? Is it really, Jesus? Is it really better for us to give? And what we find is that when we die to ourselves, we get to experience more life.
Yeah.
That when we say no to our flesh and we pick up our cross and we deny ourselves, we get to experience God in a way that is tenfold than what anything could have offered.
100%.
So it's a powerful trip.
I'm just a baby in this, continuing to learn and everything like that. And going back to this, I love what Gary Keller says about vacations, right? Plan your vacations out through the year. You should have one for yourself to relax, one to learn, and one to give back, right? And so let's say they're a week apiece or something like that.
Yeah.
But I find myself when I go for leisure, I lose out. Like I come back tired.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, oh man, I don't want to go back to work. I don't,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
getting back into the gym flow at the gym. Like I still work out on my travels and stuff, but I noticed, we just got back from our men's retreat this last week, and we studied the book of Esther.
Yeah.
And which is interesting on a men's retreat, right? Because most of the time that's for women.
Yeah.
But really, we dove into who Mordecai was, right? And his faithfulness to God and all that stuff. And so that was really cool. But I came back pumped up.
Yeah.
I got to spend time with over 20 other guys that are from the church that I see in passing on Sundays, and, see at our men's groups or something like that, or quarterly men's feasts and all that stuff.
Yep.
And getting to connect with them and have a deeper bond and, pray over each other and all that stuff. And it was really, really rewarding.
That's awesome.
Really rewarding. And
That's
then
awesome.
learning how to study the living word, right? Because I've been reading the stories and just trying to, okay, what happened here? What happened here?
Yeah.
But when you spend some time and you go study the living word, what does it mean? What are you seeing?
Yeah.
Right? What are you interpreting?
Yep.
And how does that apply to you?
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
What do you observe? What do you interpret? And then how do you apply it?
Yeah.
Right. And so it's a different book.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's a different book.
Yeah. The Bible is like a hidden, like it's treasure just ready. And it's an endless pursuit of goodness, right? You just keep digging and you find yourself in this cycle where you get to know who God is more. And then you understand how good God is because of what you're reading and through scripture. And the result of that is that you end up loving the Lord more, right? And because you love the Lord more, you pursue him more. And then this cycle just keeps going.
Right.
And it's just
the
upward
compound
cycle.
effect.
Yeah. Of just continuing to grow, learning, seeing the goodness of God. And you're able to just mature into manhood.
What's really great about that in my morning reading today, I just used the Bible app this morning. Sometimes I go into the book and sometimes I just jump on the Bible app. And it was Proverbs 1 and it was talking about seeking wisdom.
Yeah.
Right. And those who do, right, you gain way more than saying, oh, I already got it.
Yeah.
And so when I look what God's done with me over the last year and some change, I'm like, man, I'm like unrecognizable.
Yeah.
In the way I speak, the way I talk, the way I communicate, the way I walk, and even my own vices, right? Even my own vices. Like I approach them with a different level of knowledge and understanding. Like, okay, well, how is this serving me?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
How is this serving? And if it's not, I'm like, okay, well, how do I fix it?
Yeah.
How do I approach that?
Absolutely.
And that's what I found in the grace of God is like, I'm seeking this stuff. I'm seeking to be a better human, right? I'm seeking to be a better man. And in that, for me, comes salvation. And whether you believe or don't, right, at least give it a shot to understand what it's saying, right? For me personally, I don't care if somebody doesn't believe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what wisdom are you seeking and how are you looking to serve, right? And if you're serving yourself, you're denying everyone.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of people that claim to be good people are good to themselves.
Yeah.
In theory. But if you're not serving, are you being good to yourself?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the way I've conceptualized it is who can I help in what aspect?
Yeah.
Right?
I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's going back to the business side of things with your business, as you just said, you brought on a couple of agents, you got, an admin in-house now and everything like that. I know you had some struggles with hiring and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Walk us through, some of what you've seen and what you've learned.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is being okay to fail. Even with even our new hires, like our admin is kick butt, right? So I don't have any concerns there. But being able to kind of put yourself out there, being okay with losing maybe a little bit of money, right? But honestly, just failing as quickly as you can so that you can learn as quickly as you can.
Right.
So it's just, I find myself not making decisions because I'm feared that I'm going to lose. But once I got over that, hey, failing is not the end, even losing a little bit of money is not the end. It's just an opportunity for you to grow. And I read this like really great quote, and I forgot exactly how it went. I'm going to butcher it. But he basically talked about how, how this business owner, this entrepreneur lost money throughout the years. And he was saying this isn't failure, it's just the cost of tuition. Right. Right. And the other side of that is not doing anything and staying the same. Yeah. And for me, I'm not okay with that result. So I'm okay with failing and growing rather than staying stagnant and dying.
100%. I love the saying, if you're not growing, you're dying. Yeah. Right. That's absolutely true. Right. I just posted on my story, right? Don't live the same year 75 times and consider it a life. Yeah. Right. Yep. And that hit me really hard. I'm like, man. And I know personally, there was a time, right? There's an 8-year period, maybe a little more, where I was living the same life over and over, claiming to be living when I was just drowning myself in substance, and it was really bad. Yeah. And I'm grateful for that. Yeah. I'm grateful for that knowledge and understanding of that, because now how can I help somebody else that's going through an addiction? Yeah, right. Absolutely. I have an addicted personality stemming from both sides of my family. Yep. And so understanding that, okay, well, what's my relationship with alcohol? Okay. Well, that's not serving. Okay. So what kind of cautionary barrier do I need to put in place? Yeah. Right? Yeah. But going back to growing and dying, right? If you're planting tomatoes. Yep. Right. Planting tomatoes, and you've been doing it 3 or 4 years, and they're lackluster in what they produce, right? How long are you going to do the same thing and fail? Yeah. Right. Or what are you going to do to study and learn how to grow tomatoes properly? Absolutely. So you reap, right, more. Absolutely. Right. So you change the way you sow so you can reap more. Absolutely. Right. Yeah. And the same with business, right? If you're doing the same thing, you have the same admin that's only producing the same results, right? Boom, boom, boom. How long are you going to live that life? Okay, cool. How are you showing up as a leader? Right? Because there might be some neglect there. Yeah. Or, right, because I always look internally first. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So is what you're doing as a leader helping serve them to help serve, like you said, God and the compound effect and everything? Are you serving your admin well and training them well and giving them opportunity to grow in their role? Or are you cutting yourself off at the knees? Yeah. Right? Absolutely. And I love the cost of tuition, man. I've got a PhD in some of this stuff from how much money I've spent and lost. Yeah. Right? Absolutely. Right? And being an operator instead of an owner. Yeah. Absolutely. Right? Yeah. Yeah. So going forward in this next year, I know you guys had a really lofty goal. What was it, 134 units last year?
Last year, the goal was 100 units.
Oh, it was 100 units. Yeah. And where'd you land?
We landed, the team landed right around 54.
Right. Yeah. So we have opportunity for growth.
Right.
So what are you sowing this year to hit your target?
Yeah. Again, just focusing on that 20%, getting clear with our lead gen, and not allowing the busyness of the business that we have right now to affect and to squeeze our time of lead gen. So again, it just goes down to what we're doing right now is going to come into fruition 3-6 months from now. So we have to not allow the work that we did 3 months ago to get in the way of the work that we're going to do
in 3 months.
In 3 months. Yeah. Right. So again, just getting real clear on that. I think also leverage is a big portion of it. Having the 2 showing agents in-house ready to go show properties. Yeah. So that I could focus in on doing more lead gen, right? I think that is also a big part.
I love the word leverage because I understand it. And I know other people might be listening to this and say, oh, leverage, you just mean you're going to outsource some of your work. And the way I like to think about leverage isn't just, okay, leverage for me to have more opportunity to go here, here, and here. Yeah. It's actually enabling opportunity for others to grow and have a job and earn income,
Yep.
right? And grow under a leadership level. So leverage for you does look like, okay, well, I can go here, here, and here. Here's what we
Yep.
could do. But at the same time, you're raising the tide for other people, right?
Absolutely.
So when people look at leverage as a negative connotation, I challenge them to really think about what they're saying, right? Because as you grow, you're providing opportunity for agents to earn experience, for admin to earn a wage,
Yep.
right? An honest wage,
Yep.
and continue to grow. And they have bonus opportunities, and they're able to put food on their family.
Yeah.
So I tend to disregard people that look at leverage as a negative connotation, right?
Yeah.
Right, because you're providing more opportunity to
Absolutely.
others, right?
Absolutely. And the thing is, like, I'm finding leverage so that I can focus on lead gen. If I'm just doing leverage and then bailing out on everybody else, then the business is going to suffer because of it, right?
100%.
So you have to fill that time in with something that's going to produce more income for you.
Right.
Right.
You have opportunity for training and growing those agents underneath you as you provide more value by providing more leads coming in.
Yep.
Right. And you're able to serve more,
Yep.
which is your whole role.
Yep, absolutely.
Man.
Absolutely.
What a concept, huh?
Yeah, and then you bring more people. You have the opportunity to go serve more people, find more people that needs to sell or buy real estate. So,
Right.
yeah.
That's awesome. So is the goal this year 100?
The goal this year is 100.
Okay. How are you guys? We're through January.
Yeah.
How are you guys looking?
We're crushing it right now.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're crushing it right now. So, our pipeline is enough for us to hit our quarterly goal right now.
Beautiful.
And then bleed into a little bit of the second quarter.
Okay.
Yeah, so our pipeline is looking really good. Our listing count since the month of December has probably been the highest it's ever been.
Oh.
You know, between the three of us, John, Tomas, and I.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we're crushing our pipeline right now.
Nice.
Yeah. So we have enough business generated to be able to meet our first quarter goal. We're on track, and then to do some more.
Yeah, very nice. So let's talk about John and Tomas here. They've been in the industry for decades.
Yeah,
Right.
20, I think going on 20 years now. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Couple
maybe a little bit
decades in
more.
there.
Yeah.
And when they brought you on, you were 18.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. I was 17.
17.
And I was on as like admin.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so 2 years ago, maybe 3, they offered opportunity for you to fill their role as they look to go off into retirement.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, they're still working, right? Yeah, they're
100%.
Yeah, it's still. I think it's still more or less as some they go. I think John mentioned 5 years or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And so giving you opportunity to grow and flourish in this role as they're sort of passing the baton, right? As you're taking on the next lap, right? And so with that, I just want to share with people, like, you may not get into the role right away. You've spent over a decade
Yeah.
before getting this opportunity,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
And so what was that like? Were you anxious to get in that role? Were you pressuring to get into that role? Or was it something that just naturally happened?
I think it more or less just naturally happened. There's a bold law, your business grows to the extent that you do. So the more that I grew, the more that I want to pursue excellence, I think my value went up, right? Like what I'm bringing to the table went up. So more or less it happened naturally. I think it's always been the plan. And now we operate as 3 business partners that's running this team together.
Yeah.
And then I get to have the opportunity to be able to coach agents, to meet with admin, and make sure that the business is flowing.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So you brought on 2 agents. What's your training protocol? What are you looking to grow into them?
Yeah.
How do you
Ultimately,
plan on doing
that they become productive agents,
Okay.
right? So that they learn how to generate their own leads, right? At the same time, serve the leads that we're giving them. That they learn to deal with clients, get more skilled in the way that they communicate, and then ultimately for them to be productive, in their real estate business and find success and to thrive, in the real estate business.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That would be the ultimate goal.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Are you guys looking to add more agents later this year, or what does that look like for you?
We're going to probably run it the way that we are for right now.
Okay.
And then as we see more growth and as we see more opportunity, we're always open to hiring more.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, going into the important stuff, golf.
Yeah.
Going into golf,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I know we've had a couple times out there and have, swing away and have some fun.
Yeah.
Are you looking to get into golf more this year? Or
Yes, I enjoy playing golf a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. As bad as I am at this sport, there's something about it that just keeps bringing me back.
Yeah, just that one shot.
Yeah, it's just that one shot. You're like, oh, dang, did I just do that? But yeah, so I think it's difficult just because of, ministry, running a business, being a dad, being a husband, to sometimes find time, right?
Right.
One of the things that I've been doing is I've been just getting out there early.
Yeah.
And there's been times where I've gotten home before the kids. I played 9 holes and before the kids even got up.
Yeah.
So there's been a handful of times like that when the weather, is a little bit warmer, of course. But this is a cool thing too. I took my kids out to the driving range.
Nice. Over here to Leader?
Yeah, a couple weekends ago, and they just had a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just like, okay, so they're enjoying the sport. They keep asking me to take them. So I was like, I'm kind of getting to that point where our kids are old enough where I'm just taking them with me to go play golf.
Yeah.
So, and I wish I started, I wish my dad taught me when I was, cause he was playing golf for a long time. I wish he would have brought me along. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to bring my kids along too.
Yeah. If even 9 holes, you get 2 hours out there.
Yeah.
And even with Levi at 6, right? You get 2 hours. He might get bored in 2 hours.
Yeah.
But, he's going to swing. You know, he'll hit the ball or whatever. But I think that's great quality time and it's productive quality time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And teaching how to deal with frustrations or complications, right, as they grow into the sport and everything like that. I was just having a conversation with one of my good buddies. I'm a football guy through and through. Football was my first love.
Okay.
And when I had children, they'll definitely be playing football, basketball, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, whatever.
Yep.
But golf, definitely, because the risk of injury is far less. Getting CTE from playing golf is really difficult.
Yeah, exactly.
But how awesome would that be?
Yeah, exactly. So it's because every stage of parenting is a little different, right? And obviously we have kids that are, for the most part, they're pretty similar age-wise. They're not too far apart. But, when Ezra and Levi were 3, I wasn't able to take them out to the driving range, right? So now that they're 6 and Micah's 5, they're getting out there, they're swinging the ball, they're hitting it, they're having a good time.
Yeah.
And they're spending time with dad, and I get to spend time with them.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff.
It's great stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Leader's really awesome, man. It's pretty
Dude,
friendly.
they just ramped up their. I haven't been back in because I don't ever go to the range. If I'm going out to go play golf, I'm at the course, right? Right. Just because of lack of time, right? But I just went back, dude. They had a little taco truck going.
My buddy Jason just told me that the new taco truck is fire.
We were gonna go grab dinner, so we weren't able to. But I'm like, we're gonna make a date. I'm bringing Kelsey out here.
Yeah,
we're gonna have date night here.
Especially, dude, it's really awesome in the summertime because they open up. They stay open late.
Yeah,
I think till midnight.
Yep.
Last year they ended up bringing a taco truck, but the new one they have, my buddy Jason was just telling me, blows the other one out.
Okay,
of the water.
Cool.
And the other one was pretty good.
It looked fire. Even the owner came out. We're watching the game after.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He came out. He's like, dude, you guys need to try the tacos because they're phenomenal. I'm like, oh, no way.
Yeah.
But they revamped it. I don't know when they did it, but they stretched out the turf.
Yeah, so I do like hitting off grass at the driving range and stuff like that because the mats, they're a little bit more forgiving, so you're not really getting the right feel. But what they did is they poured concrete last year all the way down, so they removed the grass driving range area, right? And extended that, giving more opportunity because most people don't want to hit off the grass, especially if it's all turfed up, right, from people swinging like me, creating divots in the area you're supposed to swing off. So a mat is good because it is less maintenance on the ground and all that stuff. But they extended that out and that was really cool. And yes,
there's a place I want to go with you.
Where's that?
Okay, it's in Roseville. It just recently opened up.
Okay.
It's called Waymaker Brewing.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's like a spot you go in. You buy beer by the ounce.
Yeah.
Right. It's like the tab. You get the card. You tap it, and then you pay for the.
Oh
ounce,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
However, they have a golf simulator in there.
Okay.
Okay. So a ton of fun. But what takes it over the top is that they also have a hand roll, like a sushi hand roll spot.
Oh.
But like incredible.
Okay.
Like I'm telling you, like crew. Chef Frank, like that high level of like fish that you're getting there.
Okay.
And we were just there this past weekend for a buddy's birthday, and we just played 2 hours of golf.
Yeah.
Right. And then we went over to the hand roll, and he did like a omakase style.
Oh, wow.
Of the hand rolls.
Yeah.
And we had like bluefin, tuna hand roll.
All DD. All
Yeah.
DD.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can have some beer.
Dude, it was awesome.
Okay. We'll definitely put that on the list.
Yeah.
And see, this is what the great thing about relationships are. You get open eyes to new things. Right?
Yeah.
One being coaching, one being a great sushi roll. I'll
Yep.
take a sushi roll all day. You know?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But for me, the last couple of years, like because I've been golfing just over 2 years now, I really wanted to get out and play and learn how to play on the course as much as possible. And so you just made a quote from Gary, right? Your business grows to the extent that you do.
Yep.
And so with me, like just reeling that back and saying golf.
Yeah.
Right. I have never consistently practiced. So on my calendar
Yeah.
is, at least 20 minutes 3 times a week
Yeah.
where I'm practicing my zone, my swing path and everything like that. So I have the mat, I have my 6 or 7 iron, and I'm just slow and methodically learning. And I found last year, you know how many divots I took out last year from hitting behind the ball? I would look behind the ball to make sure I hit it, and I'd rip up Mother Earth, right? And take off probably 20 yards on my stroke. So learning exactly how to hit. So that's where I'm growing in golf. And I take that into even my workout yesterday at Iron Mile. I wanted to go to the T3, which is the higher level, and challenge myself. And so in our workout, after our first cardio session, we go into the workout. It's 21 air squats, 12 kettlebell swings all the way overhead. And that was with 70 pounds.
Okay.
Right. Ooh. And then 30-inch box jumps.
Okay.
As many reps as possible.
Yeah.
Right? 90 seconds on, 90 seconds off for 4 rounds.
Yeah.
And the first set, I did 8 box jumps. Second set, my first jump, dude, I went and skinned my leg right here.
Dang.
Right? But talking about growth, I ended up doing 9 total box jumps. I did one more after that. The next 2 sets, I struggled with doing those 70 pounds.
Yeah.
And I was already gassed.
Yeah.
And
that's intense, dude.
But now I know my baseline. So in a month, if I want to go back and do that workout, right? I just see how much the progression has gone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And whether we're talking about business, how many calls do you need to make?
Yeah.
How many days do you need to make calls, and what does that time frame look like? How many open houses do you need to do if you do open houses?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
When we were on the panel just a few weeks ago, I kind of overspoke on Michelle, and I gotta apologize for how I approached that, because she's like, "Oh, when you get in, you gotta door knock, you gotta open house." I'm like, "No, you don't."
Yeah.
And the truth is, you don't. I could have just. I was so amped up to serve our other colleagues, right?
Yeah.
And really, you don't have to door knock.
Yeah.
And you don't have to cold call, and you don't have to do open houses, right? Finding what you like to do, right? Finding what you like to do. I'm not a tennis player, right? So I'm not going to go out there and play tennis, but I am going to go golf, right? So that's because that's what I like to do. So in our lead gen model, what do you like to do, right?
Yeah.
And for you, I know you like to call.
Yeah.
I know you do open houses extensively, and I've learned from you over the last year.
Yeah.
Because I'm decent at open houses, but Proverbs 1, seek wisdom. You're earning I'm
still learning.
you're earning listing appointments at the open house.
Yeah.
And I have not done that yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They do come in the follow-up plan, and then eventually.
Yeah.
Right? But
I think the only thing about open houses that I found, because I've been doing them for my entire real estate career, is that your chances of setting that appointment drops the moment that they walk out. So your best opportunities to set that appointment is while you have them in front of you.
Yeah.
And you create enough value and you ask the right questions to figure out what their motivation is, then you're able to convert those into appointments, which will go to buyers, to sellers, and now you have closed escrows that way.
Yeah, I just want to be a fly on the wall and watch what you say to get those right.
It's really not that. You're doing probably just as good, dude.
Right. Well, I haven't set a listing. I've set countless buyer appointments at an open house. That's a simple strategy for me. I have that skill, but setting the listing appointment on that. That's what I look forward to doing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so you said you've been doing open houses for your entire career.
My entire career.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. I love open houses. Mm-hmm. What is it about open houses that you find you're able to serve more?
Like, why do I like doing them?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think one thing is it kind of filters out, for the most part. It doesn't always, right? But the people that are walking into the house typically has some sort of interest in real estate. Mm-hmm. More so than maybe even like an internet lead, right? I mean, there's interest there because they're obviously surfing it, but there's more commitment to somebody walking in, right? And seeing, and they know that there's an agent there that's going to try to talk to you, right? And because of that, what I found is that if I could get 10 people through those doors, I could probably set 2 or 3 appointments. Right. So because I know the motivations there, it's just a matter of finding out what got them to walk through those doors to take a look at the house. So let me give you this past weekend, I think we had 8 groups that came through the open house.
Yeah.
I was there for about an hour and a half, about an hour, a little over an hour, mainly to support our new agent and train them.
Yep.
I was able to set 2 appointments within the first 30 minutes of the open house.
Let's go.
So was really grateful for that. It's not always like that, right? However, after I left and my agent kind of saw like the purpose of us doing open houses isn't there just to show the home, which is a part of it. You want to market the house.
Yeah.
But another portion of it is that you're there to be able to serve more people and meet more people.
Yeah.
So being there with a very intentional goal of I'm here to meet people, add people to our database, and ultimately to set appointments. She went ahead and set 2 more appointments after I left. And she said that that she's learned more in the last couple days of like following me than she has in her entire real estate career. And she's never set appointments before.
Wow.
Right. So it just is, it's not complicated is what I'm saying.
Right.
Right. It's just about asking the right questions, finding the right motivation, and then trying to set the appointment there, because again, it's difficult. Because what if all of a sudden the next day you're not able to get to those leads because you have some other leads that you have to, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So setting the appointment there has been crucial in regards to moving the business forward.
Beautiful, man. That's amazing. And you what you just said there, right? Like, glory to God, of course.
Absolutely.
Right? But he's giving you this skill to show up for somebody else. And as you're gaining leverage, right? What did you just do for her?
Yeah.
She's never set an appointment. She set 2.
Yeah.
Right. How good did that make her feel?
Absolutely.
How confident is she now going into the next open house?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
Like, okay, cool. I remember when I started door knocking, right? Because I just picked that up just a little over a year ago, but I was more like, all right, cool, let me invite people to the open house and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And what I found in my door knocking skills was that, first of all, it brings more people to the open houses, exactly what you want to do for the seller. You want as many eyes on as possible, as early as possible, so offers come in, right? And what I found is door knocking, people love you face to face.
Absolutely.
On the phone, there is no risk at all to tell you to get off and hang up on you.
Yeah.
There's no risk.
Yep.
Right? And the amount of people that are tired of, how many spam calls do you get a day?
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, countless.
Yep.
Countless, dude. Every organization wants you to donate or wants to buy your house for cash or this and that. I'm on the do not call list.
Yeah,
right? Like,
exactly.
Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
And so you got to think that for these people that aren't even in the market.
Yeah.
Aren't even in the market. They're just human beings living their life, and they're getting these calls, and you knock on their door, and I find that more people are open to a one-on-one conversation.
Exactly.
In person. And that's why I love open houses too, is they get to see you face to face. They get to see what you provide for a seller that you're working for, right? That you're serving.
Yeah.
And they're judging you as they walk in, which they should.
Yeah.
Which they should.
Absolutely.
Right? I've walked into open houses just to go take a peek at the house in the neighborhood, want to go take a look. And I'm in and out of that house and never greeted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as a seller, you're thinking, okay, well, I hired this person to come in and market my house, and they're not even greeting somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
What level of service are you asking?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
So what's next on your agenda? What's the number one thing you want to do this year?
Well, honestly, just to continue pouring into, like business wise,
I asked it open.
Yeah, man. Just to grow in the likeness of Christ, number 100%. Right? To become more like Christ, to become a better husband, to learn how to be a better father, which the last couple weeks, I'll be honest, I've been a little out of balance a little out of the counterbalance just because I've been so busy. But to be more present. And then in regards to business, just to be able to serve more people, to bring more value, and to solve more, give more solutions to people's problems and their real estate needs and goals.
Awesome, brother.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to being alongside you on this journey. I really appreciate your time today.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah. Tell the family I said hi and I love them.
Appreciate it, dude.
All right, brother.